first down. He'll hand it off up the middle, going to make the first man miss, and continuing on out across the 34, near the 35-yard line. Nice inside run there by Quinton Cooley for the Bombers, and it'll be second and medium.
Good job initially here by number 94, Eric Black. He just convinces himself a little bit too much that he needs to travel upfield. He could have gotten in on that tackle. Not necessarily a game changer. They only got 4 yards out of it.
Second down and 6 for the Bombers. Left-hand hash. Streveler's in the shotgun. Players approach the line. Streveler to pass. Far side flat up near the first down stick. The ball is complete, and an immediate tackle by Phelan Sanford coming up on the ball carrier, and it looks like it's going to be shy of the first down, is making the reception for the Blue Bombers. It was Carrick Wheatfall.
It's a really good job planting that back foot, getting in on the tackle, and that's Chris Streveler in a nutshell. He's going to make the flat throws, and he's going to make the quick short yardage throws, try to get his team into these positions, 3rd and 1, where he's one of the best in the league.
Ball is on the 41 of the Bombers, just underway. Scoreless opening quarter at Mosaic Stadium tonight. It's 3rd and 1. Another Moose Creek Red Angus 3rd down gamble as Streveler goes right ahead. Not much room there as referee Tim Croker is going to get in with his officials, as pointing the other way is Jackson Ford. So too are a couple of the other riders, saying that they might have stopped them on 3rd down. Aubrey Miller Jr. is in there as well.
Yeah, you've got the entire defensive front trying to help the ref make a decision. They all say that Streveler did not get the yardage.
Well, they're trying to help anyways.
Well, you know, it's one of the toughest reps in the exhibition season because these are the moments that you can't duplicate in practice. Nobody goes through the short yardage situations in practice. You can rep it mentally. You can show it on film. But these coaches don't necessarily know if the guys out there are able to get through these important downs. So it's a great film opportunity to get it on tape right now because these are the moments you can't practice.
Now, there's no eye in the sky in this game tonight. That's why they're going to bring out the sticks to measure. It is going to be extremely close as they'll pull out the chains right now. The ball just shy of the 42-yard line. And, wow, by the nose of the football, the extreme tip, it's a first down. That was close, an eyelash between a turnover and a first down, and it's going to turn out to be a first down for Chris Streveler and the Bomber offense.
Opportunity to continue a drive. And again, you get that 3rd and 1 against two of the best defensive tackles in the league, Mike Rose and Micah Johnson leading the charge. Haba Baldonado's getting a start too, and he's phenomenal.
5 receivers for Streveler on first down. Peterson, the lone back in the backfield. He gets the carry, gets a yard, maybe 2. He's met immediately. Nice job of coming up to make the play for the Riders and making an early impression along that defensive front was Antoine Brooks Jr.
Yeah, Antoine Brooks Jr. gets into it, but this is Haba Baldonado. Does a great job to avoid the initial block from the left tackle, Stanley Bryant. Gets in on the shoestring tackle, slows it down, and the Riders who always do a good job rallying to the football in and around to help him make the tackle.
2nd and 10 for the Bombers. Ball on the left-hand hash, 5 receiver look. Back to passes. Streveler has time now, scrambles out of the pocket to the near side. Looking, gonna flyer it, got a man, and it's complete into Saskatchewan territory. Jareth Stearns, the former Rider, brings it in for the first down of the game, not before he takes a huge whack as his former teammate DeMarcus Fields came down to make the play.
Yeah, DeMarcus Fields, such a good young player for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This is a great job by Chris Streveler, though. As he runs, this entire stadium thinks he's going to keep it, he's going to get the first down or try to get the first down with his legs. Keeps his eyes downfield, hits his receivers, advances the sticks, and a good job by Jareth Stearns holding on to the ball because our youngster, Mr. Fields, cracked him.
11:32 to go in the opening quarter. We're scoreless pre-snap motion. Handoff, though, goes through the middle. Not going to be much room right there across the 50, up near the 52-yard line. Another nice job by the Roughriders defensive front, putting the wraps on the ball carrier, and Peterson doesn't get much, maybe a yard.
Yeah, well, it's literally impossible for the offensive line to knock Micah Johnson off the line of scrimmage. And from there, his teammates are just rallying around him because they know that he's going to hold down his gap and they can get in on the ball carrier.
2nd down and 7. They'll give Peterson a carry of 3 on first down. on the Saskatchewan 48-yard line, ball far hash. Again, pre-snap motion to the far side with two receivers in motion. That's where Strevler looks. Bounces, now throws it underneath, complete to the Riders 45, down near the 42-yard line. Going to be a couple of yards short, but he dumped it off underneath, and Peterson almost found the first down marker.
Well, Antoine Brooks Jr., number 33, has an opportunity to make this a 1 to 2 yard gain at the most. Instead, he misses the tackle. Too much inside given up. And a good job by the Bombers getting to another 3rd and short situation. You're going to see a little bit of rotation here between the offense and defense. They're going to get their big personnel in the group to battle for these few inches that the Bombers need to extend the drive.
Another Moose Creek Red Angus 3rd down gamble for the Blue Bombers, this time a little bit further actually than last time. It's a full yard and a bit.
Yeah.
As Strevler is in the shotgun. Sends out 3 receivers to the far side, now man in motion near side. Strevler pitches underneath. Lots of room to go, and is it going to be close? It will be, as that little shovel pass underneath. The Riders read it right away. Nick Dembski came in on it. I don't know if he got it.
Yeah, I don't think he got this. And I'll tell you what, one guy who played a fantastic job, or played a fantastic game, last week for the Riders and immediately inserts himself into the fray here, Jackson Ford. Coming down from his safety position, good job by the defense, forcing the action back inside so guys like Jackson Ford can get downhill and make a tackle. Phenomenal play by the youngster.
I thought he was short, but they rule first down for the Bombers at the Saskatchewan 40-yard line. 5 receivers set for Strevler to pass near side. That is complete. Coming down with it on this near side for the Blue Bombers was Carrick Wheatfall, his 2nd reception of the afternoon, and it's going to be a gain of about 5.
A.J. Allen was the guy supposedly dropping back. I think he needed to be a little bit more to the left, a little bit shallower. He might have been able to get a hand on that football. 2nd and short now, and again, these are one of those plays that teams love, because 2nd and 5 or 6, you've got your entire playbook at your disposal.
So they call it 2nd down and 5 at the Saskatchewan 35-yard line. Ball right in the middle of the field. Strevler, delayed handoff, gets it underneath Peterson to carry it into Riders' 25-yard line. Crashes ahead before finally being tripped up, but he'll move the sticks in a very impressive-looking opening drive for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Yeah, Riders are in man defense here, so we're matched up across the board. We're doing a good job of playing all the shallow routes because it is Chris Strevler, so you do want to be mindful of that. The quick release, more importantly, smart play call, effective blocking up front, right? Get the guys pass rushing and then let them upfield, make them think they're doing their job, and then go pick up the linebacker.
Antoine Brooks Jr. in on the tackle along with Jackson Ford. It's 1st down for the Bombers now at the Saskatchewan 26. Strevler throws it out far side to Nick Dembski. He's got it, makes a man miss in the open field, and then scampers out of bounds up around the 20-yard line. Nice gain again on 1st down for the Blue Bombers.
This is a phenomenal job. I think that's McGee, number 27, for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Tyreek McGee out of Georgia. Good job. He's the only man outside that has an opportunity to bring this ball carrier down, shuffles his feet, gets in on the action, but more importantly, he stretches out a little bit so guys like Jackson Ford can get in there and help him out.
It was Exume that was in close vicinity as well there, Luke. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 for the Blue Bombers, as Strevler's back to pass. Looking far side, has a man in the end zone. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Nice play by the Blue Bombers, and all alone in the end zone was Carrick Wheatfall. We had to wait for it, but finally one of these two teams score a touchdown, and it's the Blue Bombers to start.
Yeah, you've got 2 young guys out there. You've got Exume, or actually, no, I believe it was McGee again, and you've got Sanford at the safety spot, or the halfback spot, and we just had a miscommunication. Sanford did not pick up the deeper route that he was responsible for. McGee was playing the shallow route, and well, that's the result is 6 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and a fantastic opening drive by the blue and gold.
Strevler, a 21-yard strike to Wheatfall to open the scoring. Point after attempt is up. Flag does come down at the end of it as the kick from Castillo splits the uprights. I think the Riders might have been offside. We'll wait and see. As
Castillo looked like he was in mid-season form last week. I don't know if you thought
5 for 5, absolutely.
He was doing well.
Go down to Tim Croker and see if we can get the call from him.
Offside, Saskatchewan number 91. A penalty is accepted. The penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
So there you go, 7-0 the score after the Winnipeg Blue Bombers opened the scoring on a touchdown toss from Strevler to Wheatfall. 7:04 to go in the opening quarter. Winnipeg leading Saskatchewan 7-0. You're listening to the 620 CKRM Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network. 68 yards, 21-yard pass to top it off to Wheatfall into the end zone, and that's how the opening drive goes for the Blue Bombers, who are out in front 7-0 with Castillo ready to tee it up.
And kicking to Mario Alford, who didn't get an opportunity to return at all last week. He gets the first opportunity here.
Takes it on his goal line, moves to his left, bursts of speed across the 20 to the 25, 26-yard line. That's where he's tackled there. And here comes Jake Mayer and the Saskatchewan Roughrider offense.
I think young Mario Alford looks at this and might cut it to the outside as soon as he gets past his fullback. I like the approach, though. Just attack. Get downhill. You haven't been in a return situation all offseason. Get some contact. Make sure that you secure the ball. Get your offense rolling.
So 1st and 10 for the Riders.
And Mosaic, our 2,000 employees proudly produce Canadian.
Huddle, and he'll have 5 receivers to his disposal, 3 on his right, 2 on his left. In the backfield, making the move from right to left is Mario Anderson on this first down play as Mayers back to pass, tosses far side flat. That's complete up to Mitch Picton, who's got it up across the 32-yard line. Nice gain on first down of 6 for the Riders.
Quick out from Mitch Picton, but the impressive part here is Jake Mayer, his ability to go from boundary all the way to the widest side of the field to get this football there on time. Picton doesn't have to come reach back for it. He gets to accept the football, get upfield, gets a couple extra yards, and again, you're in 2nd and 3. Dave, you know the deal, right? You've got your entire offensive playbook at your disposal in a 2nd and 3 situation.
Riders moving right to left on the right-hand hash now with 6:30 to go in the opening quarter. They trail by 7 in their initial drive of the football game as Mayer to pass up to Mitch Picton again, but that just slips through his fingers. He was at the 40-yard line, which would have been good enough for a first down, but Mitch puts his hands to his head and says, oops, I should have had that one. Instead, it falls incomplete, and it's a 2-and-out for the Rider offense.
Yeah, normally Mitch Picton's your most dependable receiver on the field when it comes to catching the football and also knowing where to be. He knows where to be here. He does exactly what Jake Mayer needs him to do and settles down in space, but I also think that he saw a little bit of number 30, Jonathan Jones, bearing down on him, and I think that he was trying to think catch and get down. He got down before he caught the ball. He just had the process in the wrong order. Now we're punting.
Joe Couch is on to kick this football away. He stands back at his 18-yard line to receive it on this 3rd down and 3 play. Clean snap from Hughes, and Couch puts a beauty up into the air. That's going to chase the return man back to the 25-yard line for Winnipeg, and then stepping out of bounds is Dylan Mitchell after he gets back near the 30, and that's where the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will scrimmage 1st and 10 when we come back. 5:59 to go in the opening quarter. Winnipeg leads Saskatchewan 7-0. You're listening to Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the 620 CKRM Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network. First down play for the Bombers. Back to pass. Big throw. Going deep far side. It's complete down inside Saskatchewan territory. All the way down to the 40-yard line. Is hauling it in there. Wow, welcome back. As making the catch was Dalton Schoen on a rocket.
This is a connection that the Bombers have been waiting for. Caleros, who's checked in to go, and more importantly, it's been a rough couple reps for Phelan Sanford, 00 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This is just straight man defense, and he's getting beat. Caleros puts it on an absolute dime, and Dalton Schoen, man, Bomber Nation missed him last year. It's good to see him back.
1,200 yards in 2023, 40 yards on that reception. 1st and 10 for Winnipeg. Caleros throwing it up again, has a man behind coverage, and he's got a touchdown. Caleros, another 40 yards into the end zone and bringing it down. Carrick Wheatfall as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers strike back-to-back plays for 40 yards and put it in the end zone.
Listen, you got to call a spade, right? You have an opportunity here to either make the team or not make the team. That was 2 rough reps for the Saskatchewan Roughriders secondary. Nothing complicated going on, just straight man defense. And both DBs, we got Phelan Sanford and Kerfala Exume, who's got some experience, just straight getting beat. It's unfortunate to see. If you're a Bomber fan, you love to see it because your offense is producing at a high rate. If you're a Rider fan, this isn't encouraging you.
Sergio Castillo will split the uprights in the south end zone and add to the lead. It's now 14-0. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers leading the Saskatchewan Roughriders with 4:50 to go here in the opening quarter.
We got Dre McCray back here. That excites a lot of Rider Nation fans. We saw Mario Alford first. See the youngster now.
So Castillo will kick it off for Winnipeg following the major score. 4:50 to go in the opening quarter. Winnipeg leading 14-0. High end kick going to be taken by the returner Dre McCray at his 19-yard line. He'll sprint to the left, has some room, gets up across the 41-yard line before he's forced out of bounds. And after a 2-and-out in their opening series, the Saskatchewan Roughrider offense will jog onto the field with Jake Mayer.
As a fullback in your kickoff return, it's so hard to slow down, right? You're trying to create some momentum. You're trying to get the first guy that poses a threat in the gap for your actual returner. I thought TBH, Thomas Bertrand-Udon, did a great job here. Here, he's going fast, and he just doesn't realize there's a guy that sneaks up under him, and that's who makes the tackle. Otherwise, Dre McCray has a touchdown.
61-yard kick, 22 return as the Riders got themselves set up 1st and 10 at the 41. Handed off to Mario Anderson on first down. He'll skirmish up near the 45-yard line and then put his shoulders down close to the 46 for a gain of almost 6.
That's a guy you like, Mario Anderson, right?
Yeah.
I like Trent Penix, number 24. That was 29, Mario Anderson. More importantly, that was Morgan Runge coming from right to left, throwing the block on the first man on the end of the line of scrimmage that he sees. It's what gives the opportunity for Anderson to get a little bit of space, turn something into nothing, 2nd and 5. Nothing into something, excuse me.
4 receivers, far side for Saskatchewan. It's 2nd and 5, ball on their own 46-yard line. Mayer calls out the cadence, back to pass, pumps once, now looks near side, and that's overthrown. Intended for Keyshawn Johnson, but pressure right in the face of Jake Mayer as he takes a lick at the end of the play. Devin Adams was in the neighborhood, and it'll be a 3rd down situation after another 2-and-out.
You got a one-on-one with the veteran Jake Thomas and the youngster Daniel Johnson, who I've liked this camp. Jake Thomas, that's a little outside move. He does speed up the clock and the throwing motion of Jake Mayer, but I don't know if that would have been on time anyway. 3rd down. At least we get to see the punter again.
Well, on to kick it is Joe Couch. Had a pretty good one his first go-around. This one will be standing back from his 31-yard line on the near side hash. 3:37 and counting to go in the opening quarter. Clean snap from Hughes. Couch gets hit. Flag comes out late as he's belted it on the turf, and he'll pop up as the return comes back the other way. The Bombers bring it up to the 27-yard line. Not much further than that, but again, there is a flag down in the play as Keelan Harris was on the return for the Bombers.
Joey Corcoran for the Bombers.
Contact in the clear. Winnipeg number 71. It's a 10-yard penalty. Makes it a 1st down.
So
Contacting would be an understatement.
first down of the game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, brought to you by Bazandowski Agencies. Cooperator Bazandowski Insurance and Financial Services, your first choice for insurance. By the by, 32-9-yard punt for Joe Couch and a 2-yard return.
If you're trying to block the punt as a defender, you got to take the ball off the foot. You can't start high with your hands and then just try to clamp down on it. That's what got him in trouble, and the Riders get a little bit more yards.
Riders move into the Bombers' side of center field as Mayer throws it far side. That's complete. Down around the 47-yard line. Met immediately after making the catch was the receiver in Dante Myers on the far side. It's going to be a gain of about 6,
This
I
is
think.
Myers on a quick slant, and he's taking his time. He doesn't want to run himself into coverage, right? And Mayer puts it in a spot where it gives him a chance to maybe break a tackle. If he had put it too far in front of him, we might have seen the receiver disconnected from the ball. Tips and overthrows are big. They lead to turnovers.
Marquise Bridges on the tackle, limits the gain to 8, so it's a 2nd and 2 for the Riders. Far side of the field, 2 receivers in motion. Looked like they might have jumped. No flag comes down. Now it's thrown near side.
Yeah.
That ball is complete. Another nice catch by Dante Myers, bringing it down for the Riders, and he'll move the chains for another Rider 1st down.
Yeah, and more importantly, this is a fantastic throw from Jake Myers, and good recognition by Myers Mayer and Myers.
Yeah,
Say that 20
that's
times.
right.
By Myers just settling down in a window and Mayer getting it to him, right? Like there's a split second of availability where the ball has to be there, and it was there. Otherwise, that play doesn't get executed. First down.
Ball left-hand hash, 1:58 to go in the opening quarter. Rilers trailing by a couple of major score. Bombers load up the line. Handoff goes to Anderson. He'll get across the 40 to 39, maybe a gain of a yard, but the Bombers all over that as they stacked up the box on first down and anticipated that run.
Yeah, you've got Zach, Fry, and Johnson again, the left guard. They're doing a little combo block where Fry chips off the defensive tackle and goes up to the linebacker. He gets there, but when he leaves, the defensive tackle manages to squeeze underneath the our left guard, and that's where the tackle is made. Good job by that defensive tackle. I missed the number.
Gain of half a yard, maybe. Second down and 9 for the Riders. 3 receivers to Jake Mayer's right, now another 3 to the left, but Mario Anderson motions into the backfield from this left side of the field. Mayer to pass, feels the pressure, finds Picton across the 25, 15, down to the 10-yard line. First down is Mitch Picton, hit on the numbers by Jake Mayer.
Yeah, this is great redemption for Mitch Picton. Reaches back up just a little bit. Mayer gets it to him with enough forward momentum where he can continue and get a couple more yards. More importantly, Mayer recognizes the blitz, knows he has to get it out of his hand early, does exactly that. Riders first down. That's more like Mitch Picton. That's the guy we're used to seeing.
Ashdowns Furniture and Interiors red zone enacted as the Riders are down for the Riders just beyond the 10-yard line. As a man in motion is Thomas Bertrand-Hudon. He'll settle in the backfield alongside Mario Anderson. Back to pass. Mayer looks. Far side flat. Finds Bertrand-Hudon, but he can't get away from the tackler. Yeah. Nice job of coming up and making the stop by the Blue Bombers to limit that to no gain. It'll be second down and 10.
So it was a great job by the Blue Bombers linebacker recognizing the ball in the flat. They're protecting the end zone. They got 4 guys with their heels on the white line, and they're relying on their pass rush to force the ball out early. They do exactly that. This is a great tackle by the defender. Good job by Udon just holding on to it. Again, ball security is premium here. You need to leave this drive with some sort of points. We'd want a touchdown, but we take a field goal. Ball security here.
Latavius Brini in on the tackle for the Bombers. It's second down and 10 for the Riders of the Bomber 11. Mayer slings near side.
Oh.
That was almost intercepted.
Oh.
Dante Myers, what a job he does to come down with it as he had traffic all around him as Jonathan Jones, the middle linebacker, wraps him up after a gain of maybe a couple, and it looks like the Riders are going to have to settle for a Reliance Heath water heater rental field goal attempt.
Well, that's what I was talking about, though, Dave, right? You need to make sure that you're being secure with the football. This is almost picked. And by the way, if it is picked, because Mayer has to throw it early due to the pressure, if this is picked, this is going back to the house. And we're down by 3 touchdowns.
Well, it's 14-0. The Bombers lead as we're through the opening quarter of play. That is the Quality Tire scoreboard. Good snap. Nice hold by Joe Couch. And the ball goes through the uprights, and it's 14-3 as the Riders get onto the scoreboard on the first play here of the second quarter. Wait to see if the Blue Bombers are going to take the ball here. Go ahead, Luke.
I was just going to say, Lowther's training camp this year has resembled about the same as a nice day at the pool.
I wouldn't know. I've been invited to any pool parties.
Just been hanging out, right? Every now and then you get up, you stretch your legs, and you just go back to tanning. But again, he's an established kicker. He's the guy that we're going to be relying on for the entire year. Still think that it's a good idea to make sure that you've got another kicker in the background, right? You always want to press guys. Guys always need to see another guy playing the same position, sitting across from him. It's always a good thing. But he's our guy.
He is our guy. And he is 1 for 1 tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, man. You know, when you're in the middle of the season and you go through team meetings, position meetings, you know, you're breaking down film, the coach is cussing you out, and you walk out of those meetings and you see your kicking group and your long snappers in the hot tub with rubber ducks. You know, it doesn't sit right sometimes,
that's
depending on whether it was a loss or a win the game before.
That's unfortunate. Well, Brett Lowther is 1 of 1. Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals bring you his foot to the ball and kick it off, and the Bombers will recover at their 10-yard line and bring it up the field to the left-hand side. Going to dash that way, make a man miss up near the 30, and then some big contact right at the point of attack as getting down quickly once again was Antoine Brooks Jr. to wrap up the returner for the Bombers, and it'll be a first down for Winnipeg.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, right now, you saw 2 quick hitting touchdowns back to back. And that's really indicative of the experience you have out there. You've got a strong front 7, right? So they haven't been able to run the ball. You've got veteran presence in Aubrey Miller. You've got Brooks Jr. and Allen. But your inexperience is in the secondary, right? So realistically, we're seeing a little bit of where the advantage may be for the Bombers when it comes to the Riders' defense at the moment.
19-yard return for the Bombers has them set up 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. Strevler back in at quarterback, hands the ball, fakes it off underneath, and now he'll sling it far side. But that's going to come just incomplete as he was trying to find Wheatfall on that far sideline, and it's broken up neatly there by the Riders. It'll be a 2nd down.
Yeah, this is well played. You take away the flat. You got a quarterback that's running outside the pocket, so he's looking, especially rolling right, he's looking to the flat, and then he's looking above that flat to see if there's anybody leaking in front of him, and there was just nobody open. And you had Benoit Marion, who I like, chasing him down, adding that feeling of pressure. 2nd and long. They haven't been in one of these situations in a while. Let's see if the pass rush can get back there.
Riders do load up the line. They put 5 defensive linemen. Now here comes a 6th. They'll drop back into coverage. Strevler, though, gets it away, hits his man, and it's going to be a 1st down for Wheatfall up across the 35-yard line, near the 45-yard line, pardon me. Lots for the 1st down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
2nd and 10 with the Riders playing man. You just got too much space between McGee and the receiver. Who'd you say who caught the ball, Dave?
Wheatfall.
You got too much space between McGee and Wheatfall. Worst part is, not only does he not have any help when the ball, he misses a tackle. And that's what has the Bombers here resetting the clock and the down.
So 1st and 10, pardon me, for the Blue Bombers at their own 45-yard line. 13:24 to go before half. Winnipeg leading Saskatchewan 14-3. Hand the ball off this time. Not much running room there as the Bombers were caught real quick as the Riders were able to get there from the defensive end position as Brock Marion, one of many, to get there quickly, wrap up the ball carrier, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Phenomenally gifted athlete. Marion comes off the 3 technique position, so that means he is playing just on the outside shade of the guard. He backdoors the guard. So what I mean by that is the guard tries to cut him off, and he just simply slips behind him and then back into the play to make the tackle. Great play.
2nd consecutive 2nd and long for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Is no gain given to running back Matthew Peterson on that 1st down play. It's 2nd and 10, ball on their 45. Bombers have 5 receivers in motion far side. He's Strevler loading up, throws it up, and it's picked off. The Riders have it on an Olympic RTM's turnover and bring it back the other way to the 50. Down inside Winnipeg territory all the way down to the 10-yard line. As coming up with it for the Riders was the defensive back, and the party
Eddie
is
Hecker.
on. Yes.
Hey,
wow.
do you remember when we were in the pregame show, and what did I say about Chris Strevler? He can throw the quick ones and he can throw the flat, but what can he do? He can't throw long. Guess what? Pick.
Riders
as soon as he throws the ball long.
Riders will have the ball when we come back.
Riders absolutely made this sideline erupt. Now let's see if they can do more, but back to you, Dave.
Thanks so much, Tegan. Just outside the Ashdown Furniture and Interiors red zone as they hand the ball off, but it pops loose, and it's going to be scooped up by the Blue Bombers. They'll bring it back the other way. It's a foot race to midfield, down the far sideline, still going, down to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Winnipeg Blue Bombers answer a turnover with a turnover of their own as Tanner Schmeckles scoops it up and races down the far sideline for the touchdown. That might have been Cornelson, 97 with it. And a huge opportunity for the Riders squandered.
Mario Anderson. The ball just isn't secure when he gets the handoff. It gets worse from there. You cannot turn the ball over in training camp when jobs are on the line. That's just the cold part of the business. So if you're a coach and you're saying, man, I got a real debate here on who to pick between Penix, between Anderson, right? Like every rep counts. And it sucks to talk about it like that, but that's the truth, and that's the stage of the season we're at. So hopefully Mario Anderson now takes advantages of the snaps that he has left and holds on to the football, but makes a couple plays, right? Now you got to get back into the coach's mind that, hey, you're that guy, right? And if you're a guy like Trent Penix, sitting there, now you're saying, okay, if it gets to my opportunity now, I'm holding on to the football, but now if I make a big play, does that put me in a good spot? You always have to play the game within the game in preseason, and that's just the reality of where we are.
So there's going to be a personal misconduct penalty tacked onto the Winnipeg Blue Bombers that the Riders will add onto the kickoff. But as it stands, it was Cameron Lawson. My apologies for the confusion. Cameron Lawson on the 80-yard fumble return for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Big boy is moving, by the way.
He was going, wasn't he?
That's got to be at least a 5.40.
Well, Cam Lawson out of Queens, 6'3", 284 is the extra point from Sergio Castillo, sails through the uprights. And with 11:53 to go here in the second quarter, it's Winnipeg 21, Saskatchewan 3. We'll take another break and come back with more in a moment. The Riders need to find some offensive momentum.
Well, I mean, right now it's sloppy, right? And I think that one of those deals where a big return here might all of a sudden spark some excitement. Well, you got to find it from somewhere, right, Dave?
That's right. Castillo's going to kick it off from his 20-yard line. Dre McCray back to field this one at his 17. On the near side, up to the numbers, the 35-40, still on his feet to the 45-yard line before finally being tripped up from behind. And here comes the offense once again, starting this time from their own 45-yard line.
Bertrand Udon, just such a tough football player. I love this kid. Fullback goes in, and as that fullback looks at number 59 from the Bombers, who is a healthy at least 280, head to head.
29-yard kickoff for Dre McCray, returned up to the Riders' 41-yard line. They'll scrimmage 1st and 10, right-hand hash. Jake Mayer in the gun. Low snap, hands it off once again to Anderson, who gets the opportunity to take the football again and gets it up near the 51 for a gain of 5.
Yeah, you can bet Mario Anderson had 2 hands over the football there as soon as he made his initial cut. Good job by Mitch Picton, by the way. I mean, these receivers, they're asked in this offense to be blockers. He's the end man on the line of scrimmage, taking the legs out of the first defender he sees, and it's what gives Anderson just a little bit of running room to get what he got.
So 2nd and 6, they're only going to give Anderson a carry of 4 on first down. It's a 5-receiver look for the Riders. Back to pass is Mayer. Mayer can't find anyone. Now slings it underneath to Anderson. He's got room near side. Steps out of bounds at the Winnipeg 52-yard line, but that'll be good for a Bazandowski Agency's first down.
I would have liked to see Mario Anderson either make a cut to the inside, try a stiff arm, or just put his head down and run over to the defender here. He ushers himself out of bounds here, right? And I get it. You just fumbled, so you want to make sure the ball's secure, right? I get that. But again, I mean, this is preseason, right? It's like when we talked about the quarterbacks, like passing on the short throw and going for the long one because you're trying to audition. I think that was an opportunity there he could have taken advantage of.
1st and 10 Riders, ball on the Winnipeg 52 with 10:32 to go in the second quarter. Hand the ball off to Anderson once again, but he's met right away. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers do a great job of shutting that down on the offensive right side of the line, and Anderson maybe gets a yard.
Well, you've got Morgan Runges, a fullback, who's coming from the depth, and his job is to cut off the defensive end, and he completely misses. He just kind of dives. He doesn't go for the block. He dives his leg, and that allows the defensive end to just come unabated and present himself as a tackler. And the defensive tackle to the inside of the D end also did a good job against the block, and there was nowhere to go.
2nd down and long for the Roughriders. 9:55 now to go in the quarter. Ball right-hand hash, 3 receivers to Jake Mayer's left. He's in the gun. Early movement pre-snap, but I think the Riders jumped, and while there won't be a running and loss of rep on this one, it still is not going to sit well with head coach Corey Mays.
I believe that was Trayvon Tate.
Officials are discussing it right now for sure. Wait and see what they find out. Their pony.
Number 60.
Oh, it wasn't Trayvon Tate. I'm blind.
That was
Excuse me.
Big Red, Peyton Collins.
Ah, your boy.
6'7", 301 of the Eastern Kentucky.
Big ginger out there. Got to know the snap count.
It was interesting. Jake Mayer, one of the things he talked about being excited about to get the start in this preseason game here tonight was the opportunity that he had not to use a silent count in Saskatchewan. He says, I've never had the opportunity not to do that. So 2nd and 14 following the penalty, 9:42 to go in the second quarter. Winnipeg out in front 21-3. 5-receiver look for the Rider receivers, 3 to the far side, wide side of the field for Mayer. They'll run to the line in the waggle as Mayer will dump it underneath. Mitch Picton goes up, makes a big catch, but it's only going to be for about 6 yards. They'll be a good 7-8 yards shy of the first down, and here comes the punt team with Joe Couch.
Yeah, honestly, this is a throw that Jake Mayers really is the only one available. Blue Bombers do a great job of covering down here. Nobody open beyond the first down marker, so Mayer's just trying to give somebody an opportunity to make a play. The offensive line did a good job. There wasn't a ton of pressure on him. It's just it was a better job by the linebackers in the secondary making sure that past that first down marker there was no green and white jerseys that could have caught the football.
Jaden Woodby on the tackle for the Blue Bombers as Joe Couch downs back at his 45-yard line, ready to kick this one away. Returner for the Bombers back at his 6-yard line. He'll take it at about the 7. Makes the first man miss. Flags come down. He'll reverse his field, go back the other way. Lots of room to run to the 30, 35, 40, 45 to the midfield stripe. Still going. Makes the kicker miss on his feet. Headed to the end zone. It's Vavra to the 15. Finally going to be wrapped up and tackled from behind. But
Couch make the tackle.
With the
unfortunately, it's off or not. This is coming back. That's one of those deals. You know, I've always been in that. I've always thought about that. If I'm a returner, right, and I break a run, but I know that there's a penalty on our side, right? Like, is it really bad if I just gear down and stop and be like, come on, guys, let's be serious. I'm not wasting, all right?
I don't think you can.
No, of course. That sounds stupid, right? But I'm just saying, I was never a returner. That's probably why I was never a returner, not even in high school.
8:25 to go in the quarter. 21-3 Winnipeg leads. We'll take a break. This is Saskatchewan. So instead of being set up deep in Rider territory, they start this drive on their own 1-yard line. As we've got lots of pre-snap movement as the whistles are going to sound before the ball is even snapped. Is into the game now at quarterback is Chase Artopius for the Blue Bombers.
I like this kid. I thought this kid looked really good last week in his opportunity that he got. And glad to see him early. It's getting a little dicey, though. I'm going to be honest with you. We're seeing sloppy reps here from both sides. And that does not bode well for those of us who want an experience watching this game because it's only the second quarter.
8:19 to go in the second quarter. Artopius is in the shotgun. He'll hand it off on first down. Room to run across the 5 up near the 7-8 yard line. Peterson has it. A nice carry on first down.
Yeah, I think he got the junior Jonathan Stevens in there, and unfortunately he just gets knocked back, and that's what the running back is. So Stevens is on our left side of the defensive front here, and he just kind of catches the block, and that's what gives the running back a little bit of momentum. Right, as a defensive tackle, you just want to anchor in there, right? You want to get your pads low, can't get knocked off the line of scrimmage. That's what happened there, and you got 5 out of it.
2nd and 5 for Chase Artopius of the Blue Bomber offense. At their own 5-yard line, Artopius pumps once, feels the pressure, and he'll get brought down in a Quilt Plains Chevrolet sack inside the 5-yard line. The Riders get home, and a big sack to force the Blue Bombers to consider punting for the first time.
Yeah, this is Kendi Charles, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders are running a stunt. And the stunt is on the other side. Kendi Charles is all effort here. He's just working and pushing guys and being physical, and eventually he gets the inside of number 61, Gabe Wallace, and brings out Artopius. This is just all-out effort, and that's reminiscent of a guy like Micah Johnson, right? You see a guy, a vet like that, and you see his work ethic every single rep, and that's what you get out of these youngsters. They replicate that, and he had some success doing it.
First punt of the night going to be fielded by Mario Anderson on the Winnipeg side of center. Makes a man miss up to the 35, skips out of bounds at the 31. That punt return brought to you by Eberassa and Sons. Cut grass like a pro with Toro mowers from Eberassa and Sons. Unmatched power. Get some pretty good field position up to the Winnipeg 30-yard line to scrimmage 1st and 10 and try to turn their offensive fortunes around as they trail 21-3 here in the ballgame. Mark Mueller wanted to see some rhythm out of his offense. They haven't been able to establish it, but for a second time in the ballgame, they've got great starting field possession. As Mayer's in the shotgun formation, he's got 4 receivers. Now Mario Anderson comes and settles by his right in the backfield. He'll take the handoff. Hyde stepping it up across the 30 near the 25-yard line. It'll be close to a gain of 5.
Zach Fry just can't move the nose tackle off the line of scrimmage here. And as Johnson gets the handoff, he just doesn't have any running room. And because Zach Fry is just unable to move the nose tackle off the line of scrimmage, he also doesn't have many options in front of him. So he picks a side, he puts his head down, and he does a good job to get 4. More importantly, you keep the football and you're still in field goal range.
5:44 to go in the second quarter. Riders trailing 21-3. They're knocking on the door of the red zone as it's a 5-receiver set for Mayer back to pass. Has time, loads it, guns it, and it's almost intercepted as a flag comes down, intended for Mitch Picton over the middle.
This is going to be pass interference. The defensive back, the linebacker, number 30, I think it's 39 or maybe it'll be Jones. Yeah, their middle linebacker. He just gets in on the contact way too early on the potential receiver.
We'll wait for Tim Croker to make the call.
You want to know when a DB knows that he's just... Yeah. So after a couple tries, I got it right. It was Jonathan Jones. But you want to know how a defensive back or a linebacker knows that he's about to get a pass interference call? Because he puts his hands up in the air like he didn't do anything. It wasn't me, guys. It wasn't me. Right away. Like without a hesitation. That's when you know you've done wrong.
So the Riders are now deep inside the red zone. Of course, the red zone for Ashdowns Furniture and Interiors in Moose Jaw. First down play. Fake the handoff. Mayer rolls near side, down near the goal line, and that's intercepted. The Bombers have it at the goal line, and they come up, step up, and make a huge play, as making the play was, once again, Isaiah Avery with the interception, and it's a turnover for the Riders.
Yeah, you got the run-pass option, and that part was executed right. But Mayer forces this, and not only does he force it, he puts it behind the receiver. And when he puts it behind the receiver, the defensive back that's breaking down, trying to get in on the tackle, right, the ball kind of lands right at his shoulder pads. This is just a bad throw from Jake Mayer. He throws it behind his guy. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who are known for turning the football over, well-coached team, right? You got Richie Hall concepts on top of a Jordan Young scheme. Another turnover for the Saskatchewan Roughriders on an errant throw.
Isaiah Avery out of Notre Dame comes up with the pick for the Blue Bombers and the Olympic RTM's turnover. It's now 1st and 10 for the Bombers. They take it at their own 3 after the interception. Artopius in the game. Hands off to Peterson. He'll try the right side, but he gets met right away. And the mass of humanity will push the pile back a little bit, so maybe a gain of a yard.
I believe that was Eric Black.
He was one of the crew in there, as was Braxton Hill.
Yeah, it was either Eric Black or either way, good job sifting through traffic, right? Keeping your hands at shoulder pad level so you can see the play with your eyes, and you locate the football. You don't get knocked off the line of scrimmage. Good job.
2nd down and 8 for the Bombers at their own 5-yard line with 4:15 to go before halftime. Winnipeg leads Saskatchewan 21-3. Artopius in it, quarterback in the shotgun, back to pass. Dances into his end zone. Now it's a screen underneath. It's complete up to the 10 near the 15-yard line. And finally, not before the 18-yard line, before the running back Matthew Peterson was able to come up with it, and Braxton Hill checks him down from behind, but not before a first down.
They've executed a draw really well this game, and now here they execute a screen against zone defense really well. I mean, the Riders miss a couple tackles. That definitely helps the success of the play, but well executed. Bombers always play well up front. They're a physical football team.
1st and 10 for the Bombers, now at their own 16-yard line. Ball far hash, moving right to left towards the north end zone. 5 receivers in play for Artopius. Has to scramble near side. Hit as he throws. The ball goes up in the air, but it'll harmlessly hit the carpet after Artopius took a big hit, and he's slow to get up.
This is a great job by Aaron Patrick on the right end. So you've got a ball fake, right? And what Artopius is trying to do with the fake is he's trying to suck Patrick down and into the running back so he can get to the outside. Patrick doesn't fall for it, right? He knows that Artopius kept the ball. He gets upfield, pressures Artopius into a tough throw because he's going to the opposite side of his throwing hand, right? Not much of a chance there. Pressure, incomplete, 2nd and 10. So now, football IQ, right? There's 3:16 left. It's second and long. As a defensive lineman, you know that this is a pass rush opportunity. So let's see these guys pin their ears back. You might see some defensive stunts, right? Defensive line stunts, but let's see some pass rush here.
3:16 to go before halftime. 5 receivers set for Winnipeg. 3 on this near side of the formation for Artopius. He's in the shotgun on that far side of the field. Clean snap, drops back to pass, has time, now rolls out far side. Throws it, and it's intercepted. In and out of the arms of the Riders.
Yeah.
Down low as it looked like it was going to be picked off. As coming in and cutting underneath that play was Tyreek McGee. Couldn't squeeze it, and it's a kicking situation with 3:01 to go.
I think Artopius thought he was playing for the Riders because he threw it directly to McGee. And if McGee catches this is a. But here's the thing, he forces this. Artopius doesn't need to leave the pocket here. There's not a ton of pressure, right? That's what made Tom Brady so good.
Yeah.
The best, Peyton Manning, they tried their hardest to stay in the pocket, right? Where the play is drawn up from. So Artopius goes outside the pocket for no reason, then almost throws a pick. They're lucky to get away with just being punters here.
Jamison Sheehan is on to punt it away. He'll get this one off from his 7-yard line. Another E. Barassa and Sons punt return, this time for Dre McRae at his 40. Looking for room, doesn't find any. Gets up to the 45 and snowed under there with 2:41 to go. And the 3-minute warning issued to the benches. 21-3, Winnipeg leads Saskatchewan. This is Rough Rider football on the 620 CKRM Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network.
Let's just do this. Let's just move the sticks. Let's get a first down here, right? Let's not go for it. Let's just get a first down.
Well, Jake Mayer will be tasked with that. He's got 5 receivers at his disposal, 3 near side. He's back to pass. Looking deep. Has a man. Far side. It's caught down inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. Joe Robicelli.
Robicelli just absolutely blows by the halfback that is covering him. This is all speed, and we talk about his athleticism a lot. And by the way, this was an excellent throw by Jake Mayer, who makes up for the bad one the play before. But this is just Robicelli showing off his speed and his playmaking ability. A great throw by Mayer. He has plenty of time to do it, puts it on the money, and that's what we talk about, right? Move the sticks, right? We didn't think they'd get it that quick, but they got there. Let's convert this now.
Now inside for a third time tonight in the Ashdown Furnitures and Interiors red zone. 2 receivers far side for the Riders. That's where Mayer looks, has time, pumps once, now feels the pressure, sprints near side, and he'll just throw it into the turf as he was being dragged down from behind as the Bombers were finally able to get home, and he couldn't see anybody open downfield.
This is pressure due to the fact, again, that nobody is open downfield, right? You've got a lot of shorter routes here, but just absolutely nobody open. Great job by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, taking away all options. 2nd and 10 here. You got to think if you're the Riders, you're just trying to spark yourself, right?
It's second down and 16, Luke. Or second down and 10 from the 16, pardon me, with 2:16 to go.
Let's see the offensive line hold up. Let's get Jake a pocket and see what he can do with his arm.
Mayer calls his receivers to the line, drops back to pass. Here comes the rush, feels it, and he's sacked. A Quilt Plains Chevrolet sack for the Blue Bombers as Mayer is hauled down in the backfield as he just couldn't have the time that he needed to get that one away.
You've got number 65 at right tackle, Daniel Johnson, and we just said, let's get Jake Mayer some time to throw, and it was the opposite of time. Unfortunately, Johnson just completely misses his block as a right tackle. There's too much pressure off the edge, coupled with pressure up the middle. Nowhere to go for Jake Mayer, and Lowther comes out here. So as soon as I criticize him for having a nice, easy training camp, he's the only one who's pressed into action here this game.
30-yard attempt coming up for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals and Brett Lowther. It's right in the middle of the field at the 30-yard line after that sack by Devin Adams. He had 4 sacks a year ago. Flag comes down as Lowther puts it wide to the left. However, he's shaking his hand right now, and it looks like the Bombers jumped offside. So a bit of a reprieve, perhaps.
Outside, Winnipeg defensive line. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll retry the punt. It will remain third down.
So third down will remain, and they'll move the ball up 5 yards. And Lowther's going to get a second go at it, this time from 25 yards. Again, field goal attempts this season brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, serving southern Saskatchewan. Joe Couch will take his knee, gets a clean snap. Lowther doesn't miss this time and makes it 21-6 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with 1:48 to go before halftime. Coming up at halftime, of course, Tegan Whitco, Justin Dunk. Wes Cates will break down the opening half for you from the brand new Harvard Studios Lounge, now known as the Sports Cage Lounge by Harvard Media. Great new look, fantastic. Dylan Mitchell back to return this kick from Brett Lothar. End over ender going to be fielded up around the 16-yard line. That's where the returner brings it back as he'll dance away from one tackle and then get up to the 37-yard line and finally going to be flung out of bounds there. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, with 1:41 to go before half, have another opportunity to add to their 21-6 lead.
Remember when we talked about knowing what you're going to get out of certain guys?
Yep.
One of the things that you know that you're going to get out of the Jordan Herdman Reed brothers is good special teams players, right? They understand that. It's what's extended both of their careers, right? You made guys, even if they're not on a roster, they're one of the first guys that's called when a team has a gap, right? Just so happens that they've been on this roster for a couple of years, but both of them fantastic special team players.
So 1st and 10 for the Blue Bombers. Now in at quarterback Terry Wilson. Fakes the handoff, drops the football, picks it up, and is sacked. A Quill Plains Chevrolet sack is a big one for the Roughriders late in the half.
The Hoskins. Sloppy play.
Yeah.
That's if you were to ask me, Luke, what's one word to describe the first half, I would say sloppy. Hasn't been a lot of consistent football.
Just a missed snap, and Wilson then had to fight for his life. And kind of an interesting time that we have seen all 4 Blue Bomber quarterbacks here in the first half. As Wilson's in the gun now, Peterson the lone back in the backfield behind him. 3 receivers far side. Throws near side, batted up and in and out of the arms of the Riders. They tried to dive for the interception, just couldn't come up with it. It might have been Braxton Hill in the vicinity, and it'll be a 2-and-out.
Jaden Dalkey is there immediately to defend the quick slant, which is where Wilson was trying to go on his left side. Good job by Dalkey getting in on it. Excuse me, not Dalkey. I am absolutely wrong. That is number 37, excuse me, Robert Javier. But a good job nonetheless, getting in on the quick slant, separating ball from hand, giving the Riders an opportunity to try to get an interception.
Sheehan's punt returned by Dre McCray takes a heck of a hit when he gets to the 46-yard line and spins his way up near the 49. And the tackler is in some distress down around the 45-yard line, and McCray is slow to get up as well on that Ibarasa and Sons punt return. Ibarasa and Sons, of course, they know what it's like when you want perfect grass. Cut grass like a pro with Toro Mowers from Ibarasa and Sons. Unmatched power, proven performance. Your perfect lawn starts here. Visit your local Ibarasa and Sons today, as there's definitely some concern for both players involved on that collision down around the 45-yard line. The injury report this season brought to you by throughout training camp.
You want the opportunity to go through scenarios that you're going to be. So every team always operates a 1-minute drill. Here's an opportunity.
So Jake Mayer comes onto the field.
Doesn't look like it. All of a sudden, it's
6 receiver look.
2 inches all of a sudden.
Mayer back to field the punt or the football, and now he'll throw it up. Looking near side for Robustelli. He can't bring it in. Falls incomplete. Mayer threw it into double coverage.
Yeah.
Felt that a blitz was coming. It didn't quite get there, and he threw it up, and Robustelli just couldn't bring it in.
Well, there was 2 defenders over there in Bombers jerseys, but really they had 3 defenders. And you want to know who the third one was? It was the sideline, right? So that was essentially 3-on-1 for Robustelli, who had just made a fantastic catch earlier. But Mayer tries to give him an opportunity to go for a 50-50 ball, right? You're trying to advance down the sticks. You're in your 1-minute drill. Here's the problem, though. Because of the incomplete, you're at 2nd and 10. You don't get this, which I assume you're going to throw. Then the Bombers get the ball with time.
So 2nd down and 10 it is for the Riders at their own 49-yard line. Bombers bring the blitz, and it's thrown over the middle. It's caught up near the Winnipeg 47, but it's fumbled. The Bombers have it, come up with it, and they'll come up with their third turnover of the game if this stands.
Now, they ruled it incomplete initially. Hopefully that stands if you're Rider Nation, because
it was intended for Braden Messeri.
Oh, man, the defense is coming on. They do think this is a turnover potential.
No, it's punt team.
Oh, right, my bad.
So, yeah, Mayer, and we'll get a look at it on the Maxtron, and
I just literally just said that.
The ball did come out at the end. He might have been on the field. This might be a catch if Coach Mace is in the challenging mindset. We'll wait and see. No, it doesn't look like anything is going to be forthcoming here in the preseason.
So here's the challenge, right? You're punting now. You got 57 seconds. The clock's not moving, so you're not losing any time now. So the Bombers are going to have a good amount of time to get into scoring position here.
So Couch, a high kick, not going to be deep, but it'll be high, and it'll be fielded on the near side hash. Reversing his way is the returner, but a nice job of downfield coverage to get in on Harris, the returner for the Bombers, and they'll get an opportunity. Will Winnipeg, with 47 seconds to go before halftime, leading 21-6.
Yeah, and best case scenario just transpired for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. You've got one of the best special teams players in the league, A.J. Allen, downfield, and they don't gain any ground. As a matter of fact, they lose ground. So I said that they had a ton of time, but unfortunately for them, they're starting incredibly deep. They needed a decent gain on this kick to really have it be feasible. If they run the ball here, that means they're just trying to get into halftime, Dave.
Terry Wilson in at quarterback for the Blue Bombers. 1st and 10 on their own 24-yard line. No return on that 36-yard punt by Joe Couch. No running room there for Peterson. It'll be 2nd down with 43 and counting to go before halftime.
They ran the ball. They're trying to run the clock, but even the clock, you know, we got home field advantage, so we didn't actually run the clock there at that place. So the Bombers, they didn't even get a chance to start the clock, and nobody's flagged it to anybody.
Keep telling me it's preseason for everyone. We're working out the kinks and getting ourselves ready to go.
Oh, there they go. Now the clock's running.
2nd down and 10. Yes, you're right. Clock is running now. 33 seconds and counting before half. 5 receiver look for the Bombers and quarterback Terry Wilson. Peterson, the lone back in the backfield, is Wilson's back to pass. Has time, swings it underneath, complete. That's the back Peterson, who gets across the 25 up near the 29-yard line. He'll have a gain of 5, but will be 5 short of the 1st down with 22 seconds to go.
And 0 rush here for the Bombers to get on the field. We're just going to punt this and get to halftime. Down 21-6.
22 seconds to go, and Daniel Wiebe comes out to return it for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
You like him?
Saskatchewan kid, yeah. He's done well at camp.
I like him too.
Yeah,
I agree.
Quicks.
I think he's a good player.
Smarts. We'll see what the U of S Husky can do on this punt that is coming his way, as Dre McCray, of course, left injured after the last punt return. We've seen Mario Anderson field a kick thus far tonight in the battle of the returners thus far.
You see Alfred again now that McCray's down, you think?
The interesting decision as Wiebe stands back to receive this Sheehan punt at his 35-yard line. Has to dance to a full sprint as the kick is short and it bounces out of bounds. And how's that? Anticlimactic.
Didn't even get a chance.
So zeros are on the clock. 21-6. Winnipeg leads on the Quality Tire scoreboard. Quality Tire with 9 locations across Saskatchewan. Stadium. And Castillo's kick is an end-over-ender that'll chase Daniel Wiebe back to his 7-yard line. That's where he starts his return. Cuts towards the left. He'll be tackled there at the 29-yard line. His bodies continue to flow after the whistle. And here comes the Saskatchewan Roughrider offense and quarterback Jack Cohn.
Yeah, Aaron Patrick is one of the fullbacks here on this return. Just can't get enough of blocking service on one of the Bombers' defenders, and that's where we see the tackle. Jack Cohn gets the start here for the second half.
22-yard return for Daniel Wiebe off that opening kickoff, and he gets it up to the Saskatchewan 29-yard line, 1st and 10. The Riders will take the ball on the left-hand hash. Is a bit of a delay trying to get the chain stretched out on that far side. I think we've got it sorted out now, and we'll get play whistled back in here just 6 seconds into the second half. No matter where you may be in Saskatchewan, thank you for tuning us in on the Rider Broadcast Network, and looks like there's going to be a penalty assessed at the end of the play as well. We didn't get the announcement from Tim Croker, but the Riders are going to be moved back now, scrimmaging inside their 20. So unsportsmanlike play, for lack of a better term, for the Riders, as picking that penalty up was number 54. I think that was the guy that you identified in Braxton Hills. So
Yeah.
it backs the Riders up now to their 19. That's where they go 1st and 10. As the Command Center might be reviewing this one as well. Command Center reviews this season brought to you by Mazank Fuels. Mazank Fuels proudly serving the ag community. Looks like the Command Center is okay with where the ball is placed in the penalty that was called. So will whistle play in. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Riders offense. Jack Cohn and that quarterback. It was Jake Mayer that was at the helm for the first half as Morgan runs the lone back in the backfield. The first pass, though, is complete on the near side from Jack Cohn. A big hit at the end of the play, and Robustelli comes up with a catch and is a little slow and hobbled as he bounces his way back to the huddle.
Yeah, Joe Robustelli starts out running a kick slant, but just kind of gears down into a spot where there's no defenders, or at least the defenders behind him. Jack Cohn, the most important thing for a quarterback starting out in the second half, starting fresh, just right, take small steps, and there you got your first completion. Now keep building.
2nd down and 4 for the Riders after the 6-yard reception. Cohn to pass. Loads it up, looks underneath, has that ball complete to Mitchell Picton. He'll turn around and scoot up the field towards the 29-yard line. He'll be close to a 1st down.
Yeah, the Bombers are doing a good job of forcing everything low that our quarterbacks are able to get to. They're not really, we've seen a couple deep balls by the Riders, but for the majority of this game, they've done a good job at limiting the options for any Saskatchewan quarterback.
New quarterback coming in is Tommy Stevens because it's a 3rd and 1 play for Moose Creek Red Angus. Of course, 3rd down gambles brought to you by Moose Creek Red Angus. And this is a long one, 28 yards. He's got to get up near the 29 and if not just beyond. Riders crowd the line. Stevens in under center. He's going to be met right away, but a flag is down. I don't know if Stevens still...
Looks like the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are offside.
Well, Stevens looked like the road runner. His wheels were spinning as he was trying to go forward, but nothing there. We'll wait to see whether this will be a 1st down for the Riders. They only had 6 in the entire opening half, and the Riders are pointing towards Winnipeg. And it looks like it will be the first Bazandowski Agents' 1st down of the second half for Saskatchewan. Bazandowski Insurance and Financial Services, your first choice for insurance. Riders have had some opportunities. They've thrown 2 interceptions to Jake Mayer in the opening half, but they also were able to go ahead and Jake Mayer, threw 1 interception as the handoff goes to the first man through out across the 35-yard line. Thomas Bertrand-Houdon. He'll get a yard, maybe 2. It'll be 2nd and long Saskatchewan.
Yeah, this is a good job. Just effort to the football, right, from the defensive line. Identify where the ball carrier is, right? Get there come hell or high water.
So ball on the 36 now of the Riders. Left-hand hash.
Linebackers filling gaps.
12:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. Winnipeg leading Saskatchewan 21-6. 5 receiver sets Saskatchewan, 3 to this near side for Cohn on 2nd down. 4 down linemen for the Blue Bombers on the 2nd and long play. Cadence from Cohn, receivers leave. Cohn back to pass, throws. That's complete up across the 50-yard line, and that should be good for the 1st down for the Riders as Robustelli comes up with a catch.
I'm telling you what. This kid's trying to make this football club, and this is a good throw by Jack Cohn. This is a positive drive, right? I mean, you're looking at some inconsistent football in the first half. You're not able to move the sticks. Jack Cohn's come in here. He's been calm. That was another 2nd and 7+ situation too, right?
Absolutely.
Like, these are not situations that are the 2nd and 3 type of deals.
1st and 10 Saskatchewan on their own 53. Backfield empties. Cohn passes complete underneath just across midfield. as coming down with it was Deshaun Mims, the Regina Ram receiver. As he'll have it. Oh, are they going to rule incomplete?
Yeah, no, they're going to give him the down. Unfortunately, Deshaun Mims just wasn't able to. This was a good throw by Cone. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to give the option for a receiver to make a play, but it's good coverage too by number 12 from the Blue Bombers, Latavius Brini. You get to limit. You got a shallow throw where the receiver wants to make a play, just they don't allow it.
2nd and 7 now for Saskatchewan, just inside Winnipeg territory. Cone back to pass, has time. Near side, that's complete for a first down for the Riders. Up to the 45-yard line is coming down with it was Mitchell Picton.
This is the Jack Cone that I saw in the first week of camp. This is the Jack Cone that gets me kind of excited about the future of this young man. He's come in here, he's been poised, he's commanding the huddle, and he's making throws. This is another good spot. You got it right in front of the defender. Picton, reliable as always, only had one hiccup. That was at the beginning of the game. Another completion, another first down.
Jack Cone with Thomas Bertrand-Houdon standing to his right. In the backfield, 3 receivers far side. Tight end is in and Trent Penix. Cone delivers. That's incomplete. Tight coverage. And coming up and batting away right on the nick of time from Joe Robustelli was the defender as Tay Gowan was able to break it up.
Joe Robustelli, he's running around, so the defenders are all over him. He tries to stop, but he stops a little bit short, and I feel like if he had tried to box out the defender and maybe used his body there. I know that as receivers you don't want to use your body to catch the ball, but if he uses his size there and gets in front of it with his whole body, I think he comes down with the catch.
2nd down and 10, Saskatchewan ball in the Winnipeg 45, 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Clean snap for Cone, backfield empties. He'll fire, that's going to be incomplete. Looking once again for Robustelli, but that pass was just beyond his reach as it was a little low and a little outside, and out comes Brett Lother by the looks of it to attempt a long field goal. Looks like they're going to set this one up from 49 yards. No, check that. It's going to be back around 53.
Hey, listen, I mean, this is a good litmus test to see where Lowther is right now, right?
A 53-yard attempt coming up for
this. Listen, this is completely in his range, right?
Oh, yeah.
These 53, I've always kind of felt comfortable with Lowther in moments around the 56-yard area. So
53 for Brett Lother. Field goal attempt for Alliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. It's a good hold. The kick is up, end over end.
Money.
And he nails it. Brett Lother is good from 53, and the score is Winnipeg 21, Saskatchewan 9. 9:48 to go in the third quarter. We'll take a break.
That's why I can make fun of kickers having
End over end kick taken by the Bombers at their 17 on the fly, up to the 20, reversing the field, back to the near side now, up across the 20 to the 23-yard line after that kickoff by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Dawson Hodge put a foot into that.
It was a heck of a kick.
The Bombers going to start 1st and 10 at their 34-yard line, 63 on the kick, 16 on the return. 9:41 to go in the third quarter. Winnipeg leading Saskatchewan 21-9. As we've got a break on the Wilson in at quarterback for the Bombers. Ball is set up on the left-hand hash. He'll hand it through to the running back. Room to run across the 40. Move the pile up near the 45-yard line. What a great second surge from the offensive line to move that pile up near the first down marker after it looked like the run was going to be stopped after a yard, maybe 2 by the Blue Bombers running back Quinton Cooley.
Yeah, this is Cooley doing his best Brady Oliveira impression, right? Just attacking downhill, running between the guards and the A-gaps and turning his legs. That was a phenomenal run. Jaden Dahlke there to help put a stop to it finally, but not before the Bombers got 9 yards.
Short yardage play for the Bombers. They'll come up to the line quickly. Wilson going to try to move the pile. Flags fly, and Wilson would have enough for the first down. And this is interesting.
I don't know. I think we've got offside again.
The interesting point to me is Terry Wilson stays in at quarterback in a short yardage play.
Well, what else are they going to do, right? They've already got, Claros comes in here, throws the ball twice, has 2 touchdowns, so he's done.
Well, yeah.
Strevler, he comes out here, he does his thing a little bit. And so I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe you see Wilson for the third, and then
go back to the youngster Artopius. See, the one thing, though, that my curiosity was piqued, we'll get to that after this play, is the handoff goes underneath. Trying to stretch it out to the near side. It's the old Nick Dembski play, not being run by Dembski, but being routed out of bounds is Keelan Harris, and Harris should have enough for the first down. And my point was going to be with Terry Wilson running the short yardage offense in that instance, maybe they're taking a look at him just to see what he can do.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're right. I mean, again, who knows what conversations or what choices they want to make following this game, right? Especially when you know you have an hour on the plane to watch the film. Hopefully you get through some of those choices by the time you get to Winnipeg.
8:17 and counting to go in the third quarter. Bombers have the ball in Rider territory. Wilson, the fake handoff now in near side for Harris. That pass is complete. Benoit Marion is going to hang on to him for dear life as Harris will get inside the 40, up around the 39-yard line, so a gain of about 7.
Yeah, Marion makes the initial contact on the ball carrier here, right? But unfortunately, it's out of effort, and he's behind when he does make contact. And the defender, the ball carrier, give him credit. Marion's a big dude, and he carries him for about 2-3 yards.
So second down and a short 3, if you will. A long 2 is the way I see it. On the Saskatchewan 39-yard line. Wilson in the gun. Motion to the far side of the field, and Myron Mitchell hand the ball off, and that's going to be enough for a first down and more. Inside the Riders' 30-yard line, still churning, was Quentin Cooley, and again, that's going to be enough for a first down and more.
It's so hard for Kendi Charles and any defensive lineman, right? When you're in the fray, you're trying to get off a block, and the reason you're trying to get off the block is the fact that you know where the ball is going. Sometimes that works against you, though, right? Because you end up giving up your leverage to try to get off the block to get to the ball carrier. In that case, Kendi Charles did, and it opened the gap for the running back.
First down and 10 for the Bombers at the 31-yard line of Saskatchewan. 6:51 to go in the third quarter. Fake the handoff. Wilson fires underneath, and that was kind of an awkward-looking play as it looked like the Riders perhaps had the best shot at that in Antoine Brooks Jr. Instead, it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that's A.J. Allen. One of the Riders' best, Antoine Brooks Jr., one of the younger, talented Saskatchewan Roughrider depth players, also does a good job on special teams here. He initially thinks he's taking on a block, and then it turns out that the ball's coming his way because either Myron Mitchell is the intended receiver, and I don't think Myron Mitchell knew he was the intended receiver. No,
I don't think so either. Second and 10 after the miscue on first down. 6.5 to go in the third quarter. Bombers lead 21-9. Delayed draw. Lots of room for Cooley up to the 25. Tries to battle through the tackle to get closer to the first down. Looks like he's still going to be held a yard, maybe 2 shy.
Cooley's a good-looking player.
Yeah.
Right? Takes a few riders to get him down here. That's tough running.
Well, it's going to be an interesting conversation as well in Winnipeg, right? So you've got Johnny Augustine, who's moved on. You've got Brady Oliveira, who's a Canadian.
Yeah, and awesome.
You've got Quentin Cooley, who's American, and Matthew Peterson, who we saw run in the first half as a national. Is coming out to kick is Sergio Castillo. A 32-yard attempt is upcoming.
Well, I can promise you this. With the money they pay Brady Oliveira, but also the ability of Brady Oliveira, they're not changing the ratio in that part of their
Castillo is good from 31 yards.
So Castillo's 31-yard attempt sails through the uprights. It's now 24-9. Winnipeg leading Saskatchewan with 5:39 to go in the third quarter. We'll take a timeout, come back with more in a moment from Mosaic Stadium. Ritchie Brothers Auctions, born in the West, trusted worldwide, all equipment, every auction, proud supporters of CFL country. Ritchie Brothers, where Canada bids. On first down, Cone feels the pressure, fires. That's incomplete, in and out of the arms of the intended receiver. Mitch picked, and it would have been close for a first down. Instead, it's incomplete, and 2nd and 10 coming up.
I love this play from Cone, though, right? Instead of leaving the pocket under pressure, just steps up into and readjusts his launch point. This is a ball that should have gotten caught for a first down. I'm really liking what Cone is doing here as a young quarterback. Again, this is kind of where I was hoping he would go and do what he would do with his opportunity.
Second down and 10 now. Saskatchewan at their own 40-yard line. Cohn is on the far hash. 3 receivers out that way. Clean snap, back to pass, has time. Throws it complete across the 50 to the 40 of Winnipeg. What a catch, but that's going to shake up. The receiver is jumping off as Joe Robicelli he's going to have to take a knee as he holds the shoulder right after making the catch. A sensational one over the middle. However, out comes the training staff to help him out. Of course, injury breaks this season for WorkSafe Saskatchewan. Workplace health.
Well, it looks like Robicelli got off the field by himself there, being pulled up by both arms. But right now he is being looked at by some of the trainers, just stretching it out, seeing how it feels. We'll monitor the situation and see if he takes a seat.
Thanks so much. As a pass underneath is complete to Daniel Wiebe. He'll make a man miss and then go over another down to the 25 on the far sideline. Thanks so much, Tegan, for that update. Of course, sideline updates brought to you by Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers. A big first down all the way to the Winnipeg 24. The Riders will get set. This 16-yard reception for the U of S product. Daniel Wiebe, of course, proud to call Herschel home, and that's where the farm is here in Saskatchewan for Daniel Wiebe, as it'll be a opportunity for the Riders inching closer to that red zone for Ashdown's Furniture and Interiors in Moose Jaw. Ball is on the right-hand hash. Small delay just making sure of the spot of the ball. It looked like they were checking that out with the command center. Was the officials here? As we're set now, 1st and 10. Ball on the 24-yard line of Winnipeg. Jack Cohn at the helm for the Riders. Hands it off. Room to run across the 20, down to the 19, 18 stumbling forward and not much more. Nice catch there run there for Trent Penix, pardon me. And it's a gain of about 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 with 3:52 and counting to go. As the Riders are back in that red zone. They've been here before. They turned it over with an interception, with Jake Mayer throwing an interception. Of course, the Riders also in the red zone when they fumbled the football that was scooped and scored by the Bombers. And Winnipeg has a 24-9 advantage. Riders look to cut into that now here in the third quarter with 3:30 to go. It's 2nd and 4. Ball on the Winnipeg 18-yard line. 5 receivers set for Cohn. 3 to the near side, wide side of the field for him on 2nd down. Looks to throw, and he'll be tackled in the backfield. A Quill Plain Chevrolet sack, as the Bombers were able to just collapse that pocket all the way around Cohn, and he couldn't find a receiver, and he's going to have to jog off the field. And Brett Lother, who's been all of the points this season for the Riders, is going to get a break, as Dawson Hodge will come on to make his first pro attempt. Lother was 3 for 3. Now a 31-yard field goal attempt for Dawson Hodge to cut into the lead with 22:43 and counting. It'll be from the right-hand hash. Not much wind by the looks of it down at field level. Joe Couch, the holder. Hughes with the snap. That's clean. The hold is good. Kick up. Good. Dawson Hodge makes his first Canadian Football League field goal attempt. And it's 24-12 as the Riders have cut into the lead once again. Now with 2:29 to go here in the third quarter. We love hearing from you, Rider Nation, on the broadcast. No matter whether you are in Saskatchewan, dial us up on the BNA. Of course, field goal attempts for Alliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, serving Southern Saskatchewan. Taken by Vival at the 15, to the 20, 25, 30, far side, room to run to the 40, spun around to the 50, still on his feet before finally being tackled out of bounds at the Winnipeg 50-yard line. We've got a pair of Rider players down, on the return. But a good return there for Vival, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is now will have a bit of a delay with 2:23 to go here in this quarter. 65-yard kick off the foot of Dawson Hodge, 34 yards on the return. as the Bombers will have the ball back with 2:23 to go. Here in the third quarter, leading 24-12. As mentioned, the Saskatchewan Roughriders will open the season here at home. 6 nights from now, the Ottawa Redblacks will be in town. It is the CFL season kickoff. We can tell you we're planning some very special guests coming up in the Croft Electric Nelson Holmes Rough Rider Countdown to Kickoff, as well as the Riders pregame show that will include CFL Commissioner, tentatively, Stu Johnston. I had a conversation with Mr. Johnston. Do you prefer Stu or Stewart was my first question. He goes by both, but prefers Stu. So Stu Johnston, the Commissioner of the Canadian Football League, will be in attendance here at Mosaic Stadium for the season opener again on Thursday night. And if you haven't got tickets yet, you can also get a Labor Day ticket at the same time with the watermelon packs that are available. That's going to make his way off in Liam Hoskins. Sorry, it's not Liam Hoskins. But we'll get that sorted out. Everybody seems to be walking off under their own steam, so that's good news. We'll get back at it. 1st and 10 for the Bombers. Their own 49-yard line. Wilson throws a wide receiver screen read nicely by the Riders, and they'll converge on the receiver right away. It's going to be a loss of 1, maybe 2 yards. Rider defense does a nice job of swarming, not giving up anything at all, and it's going to be a loss of a couple on the play for the Bombers.
It's going to be 2nd and long.
And their receiver, Jalen Hall, who came up with it on that far side. So 2nd down and maybe a loss of 1. Maybe it was right on the money. Reggie White Jr., pardon me, on that reception. 2nd down and 10. Bombers have it. 5 receivers set. Saskatchewan side of center. 1:39 to go. A little shovel underneath. Fake to Myron Mitchell. Now Wilson near side has a man wide open down to the Saskatchewan 45-yard line. Nice play action. Caught the eye of many in the backfield, and then the pass complete along the near side to move the chains for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Is coming up with the catch was Joey Corin. A 5th-round pick of the Bombers. 39th overall in this past spring's draft out of New Hampshire. Had a couple of catches for 22 yards in the opener last week. Now has a big 1st down catch here as it's 1st and 10 for the Bombers at the Saskatchewan 43-yard line. 55 seconds to go before quarter time. Handed off to Myron Mitchell, trying to get to the outside. Hurdles a man, then spins into a tackle as Nick Wiebe is coming up to make the play for the Rough Riders. It's going to be a gain of maybe 4. It'll be 2nd and 5 for Winnipeg as they try to string out the defense to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. As dancing inside was Myron Mitchell, who had a heck of a day with 3 catches for 27 yards last week, and that time he was able to get with Nick Wiebe, who came from behind to make the tackle, but also in hot pursuit was Robert Javier. 2nd down and 5 for Winnipeg at the Saskatchewan 38. Terry Wilson in at quarterback. 5 receivers set for the Bombers. Fakes the handoff, back to pass, fires far side, complete inside the 30, up near the 29-yard line. Once again, making the reception was Joey Corin, and it should be another 1st down for the Bombers, who are moving late in the 3rd quarter, down to the Saskatchewan 29-yard line. Likely the final play of the quarter coming up as Wilson gets the play signaled in from the sidelines in his helmet. Covering his ears a little bit loud here tonight at Mosaic Stadium. Good crowd on hand for some Friday night football. Wilson in the gun. 2 receivers far side. Hands off to the balloon back in the backfield. Room to run to the far side. Down inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. Nice run by Quentin Cooley. And that's going to wrap up the 3rd quarter. Through 3 quarters of play, Winnipeg leads Saskatchewan 24-12 on the Quality Tire scoreboard. Quality Tire with 9 locations across Saskatchewan. Great news. Thanks so much, Tegan Whitco. Sideline reports for Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers as it's 1st down. Fake the handoff to Cooley, and back in the backfield, wrapped up Terry Wilson. Another Quill Plains Chevrolet quarterback sack by your Saskatchewan Roughriders as Liam Hoskins gets home.
for the run-pass option look at all. He's patient, makes sure he stays on the line of scrimmage, and as soon as he identifies that the quarterback, Terry Wilson, has not handed off the ball, he's upfield making a tackle. Great play.
Loss of 9 for the Bombers on first down. It's 2nd and 19. Just underway in the fourth quarter. Dave Thomas, Luke Mullender, Tegan Whitco at Mosaic Stadium. Riders trail by 12, haven't found the end zone tonight. 3 Brett Lothar field goals and a Dawson Hodge field goals, the scoring for the Riders thus far tonight. 2nd and long for the Bombers, 4 receivers to this near side of the field. That's where Wilson looks, fires, complete. Mitchell in the 20-yard line down to the 17 as he just kind of spun away. It was a stutter step, and I thought perhaps he had dropped the ball, but Mitchell comes up with the catch. Still going to be well shy of the first down,
This was a good job initially by the defensive backs, because what they do is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers try to run a longer route right up the seam to distract the eyes. They don't fall for it. They stay low, and when the quarterback does get the football low, they're able to break because they didn't commit to the longer throw, which is essentially the Bombers trying to distract them. Try to throw a rope-a-dope in there, Dave.
26-yard attempt coming up off the foot of Sergio Castillo. He's 1 of 1 from 31 tonight. This one will be from the left hash into the north end zone. Good snap, clean hold. The kick is up and through from Castillo, and he's 2 for 2, extending the Winnipeg lead to 27-12 with 13:10 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll take a timeout and come back with more in a moment. This is Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the 620 CKRM Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network. From Jack Cohn to the far side, skips incomplete, intended for Abdul Jannah Jr. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Riders with 12:34 to go in the fourth quarter, trailing 27-12 at their own 40. Back to pass. Cohn looks deep, can't find anyone. Now he has to scramble near side, being chased down, and now going to throw it near side. Daniel Weeb has it up to the 41-yard line, which is just beyond the initial line of scrimmage. So it's going to be a 2nd down, or pardon me, a 2 and out, and a second 2 and out kicking situation for the Riders.
Listen, obviously not a lot there for Jack Cohn. I thought he did a good job of just extending the play, and a good recognition of that by Daniel Weeb. He sees his quarterback really is running out of space and time. Tries to give him a target. Obviously, the low throw isn't going to get him the first down. It also avoids a sack, and you don't risk potentially fumbling the ball if the defensive end gets his hand in the right place. So kicking it in this case is good. You need a defensive turnover. We're only down 15, so, I mean, the Riders still have a good chance of getting back in this. Just got to make something happen quickly.
So get set to punt this football away to the Saskatchewan Roughriders from their own 27-yard line. That's where the punter stands in Joe Couch. High kick right to the middle of the field. Very returnable for the Bombers as they'll try to set it up. Coming to the near side is the returner across the 26, maybe 27-yard line. Nice downfield coverage there by the Riders. As coming back was Dylan Mitchell the other way, and the Bombers will have it with 11:20 to go. Winnipeg leading Saskatchewan 27-12. Another timeout as we'll come back in a moment. This is Saskatchewan Roughrider football.
Hoping that happens for them.
So the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will scrimmage 1st and 10 at their 27-yard line after that punt return as Terry Wilson hands it off underneath, taking it to the 25, trying to get around the corner. 35, diving ahead to the 35-yard line was Jalen Hall. Perhaps that was Gavin Cobb, 82, not 87. My apologies. And yes, it was Gavin Cobb, and he'll spin around the corner and get close to the first down, a gain of about 8. As young Gavin Cobb shows his wheels there, of course, for a number of years. He used those wheels in Canada West football and had a sensational career. That'll be second down at about 3. They give him 7 on the carry. Tight ends in, handoff up the middle for Cooley, and Quentin Cooley gets across the 40, near the 41-yard line. That should be enough for the first down and more, as it'll move the sticks for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who seemingly have been able to put drive after drive after drive together tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the Bombers have just consistently made plays, right? And right now, I mean, this actually is indicative of the regular season Blue Bombers, right? They've got a lead, and now they're going to start working the clock, right? They go into their run down the clock offense, if you will.
Gavin Cobb, 5'9", 170 out of Manitoba. Of course, he is a hometown boy and got 7 yards on that previous carry. As Wilson to pass underneath, and that's hammered away. Ball comes loose. Riders scoop it up, taking it back the other way. 10-5, touchdown Riders.
Incomplete pass is going to be ruled here. Great job separating the ball. I can't see which number. Maybe, I guess I should say, the license plate of that truck. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Jaden Dahlke.
Well, it was Robert Havier on the return, and boy, did he do a dance in the end zone. Unfortunately, all for naught, as the pass, like you say, was ruled incomplete. And if anything, he might have been down on the turf as well. Again, not going to matter at the end of it all. However, head coach Corey Mace may have his challenge flag out, and indeed he will.
Well, here's the thing, and the other thing is, too, Dave, is you want to see your guys competing, right? It doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't matter how much time left in the clock. You want to see your guys competing.
Mazank Fuels bring you coaches' reviews this season, proudly serving the ag community across southern Saskatchewan with reliable. So, the officials are going to talk with head coach Corey Mace. I don't know if they want to convince him out of challenging this or not.
They're like, hey, Corey, you probably should just act like you dropped the flag by accident.
There is a strong possibility. So they're going to challenge it. And like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if they rule it a completion with down by contact.
Yeah, right. No, I think that's a good...
To make the call, they do have the ball scrimmage right now. Do the officials at the 42-yard line of Winnipeg, indicating that the call on the field was an incomplete pass. Not calling Colson out in our studio downtown in Regina. He thinks this is going to be overturned and will become a fumble.
No, I don't know, man. The refs are setting up like this is going to be 2nd and 10.
While we're waiting is the Mazank Fuels Command Center review. Are leading. Olympic RTM's turnovers. The Riders have fumbled and been intercepted, while the Bombers did throw an interception as well. So there you go. Catch down by contact.
And it wasn't Jaden Dahlke. It was Phelan Sanford. So, I mean, a guy who struggled a little bit there in the first quarter had a touchdown thrown on him in man coverage. It's good to see him still out there competing, right? He separates the ball from the man. It's a good play by that youngster. Thought it was Jaden. It's like they're twins out there, him and Jaden Dahlke.
So this is interesting because Coach Mace challenged that it was a fumble, right, and not a completed pass, so I believe he'll lose a timeout. Indeed he does. So first, or 2nd down and 12 now. Underneath, Wilson. Pass is complete. Near side flat, up across the 45, near the 48-yard line. That still will be short of the first down, but the back Cooley was able to come up with the catch, and it looks like the Bombers will kick.
Yeah, this is a good job. Eddie Hecker doesn't make the play tackle here, but he makes the play for the Riders because he's the first guy in on the ball carrier, forces the ball carrier back inside to where all the help is coming down the pipe. So, again, that's one of those deals where sometimes you don't make the tackle, but you end up making the play for your team.
So the Bombers will kick this away from their 35-yard line, and Ibarasa and Sons punt return upcoming from Daniel Weeb, who stands at his 14-yard line to receive this. High kick from Sheehan. It's a backwards spiral almost, and now it'll take a bounce at the 22 into the arms of Wiebe. Tries to make a man miss, and then he's going to be wrapped up, hangs onto the football, and that's where the Rider offense will go to work with 21, or from their own 21-yard line after a minimal return for Wiebe. Eberrass and Sons, they know grass, and you can cut grass like a pro with You're going to have to explain it to the entire community of Herschel, Saskatchewan, where Daniel Wiebe calls home. 9:03 to go in the fourth quarter. Winnipeg leading Saskatchewan 27-12. The Riders have it 1st and 10 now at their own 21-yard line. The officials imploring the Riders to break the huddle. However, Jack Cohn now steps in to hear what the play is as the play came in to his helmet. And right now Tim Croker is having a conversation with the officials on the far side of the field, as is Mike O'Shea. So that seems to have resolved itself, and we're ready to play football again with 9:03 to go here in this preseason finale for both the Bombers and Riders after a smoky start to the day, which fortunately here in the Queen City has subsided.
Yeah, it turned into a really good day for football.
Handoff to Penix. He'll get across the 24, maybe the 25-yard line on the far side from Jack Cohn, who remains in the game at quarterback. Going to be a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Penix, nice, high and tight. That's how you want to, right? You can't see the replay here, Rider Nation, but when you get in and around traffic, you really protect that football. He had a defender hit him low, but still managed to hang on because of the way he was carrying that football.
2nd down for Saskatchewan. They're going to give Penix a gain of 4 on the play. Of course, John Hoffman didn't have anything to do with that spot. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given him anything. 5 receivers for Cohn on 2nd down. 3 to the near side. Cohn to pass over the middle.
Nice throw.
In and out of the arms of the intended receiver is cutting back in 1st down territory. Right around the 39-yard line was the young Abdul Jana Jr., and it's incomplete kicking time, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, you know what? I said this was a nice throw because of the velocity it had on it. It's just a little bit behind the receiver.
So Joe Couch will come out to punt this one away. Bailey Flint given the night off. As Joe Couch, who was re-signed this week, gets an opportunity to kick this one away from his 10-yard line. Standing in the middle of the field. Bombers one returner back at his own 35. Good snap. Couch going to try to angle it to the far side. Doesn't get all of it, but gets to the numbers on the 40. Returner brings it back to the 45, upended at the 49-yard line. Good downfield coverage by the Roughriders as Harris was in on the return for the Bombers, and they'll get it 1st and 10 when we come back. 7:47 to go in the fourth quarter. With 7:47 to go in the fourth quarter, Bombers after that return will scrimmage 1st and 10 at their 50-yard line, pardon me. Terry Wilson, who's played the bulk of the game after all 4 quarterbacks got into the first half for the Bombers, hands it off to Quentin Cooley. He'll dance his way across the 50 and then jumps across the 52 to the 54. A nice gain of 4 on 1st down for the Bombers.
I love this kid Cooley, not going to lie. Right, I mean...
So 2nd down and 5. They put the ball just shy of the midfield stripe on the Bombers' side of center. Ball left-hand hash. Wilson in the gun. 3 receivers far side. Cooley, the lone back in the backfield. Going to hand it off to the receiver, trying to get to the far side. He's met in the backfield and just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the Riders to swarm the ball
really
carrier,
good, yeah.
and Nick Wiebe comes up with a tackle for the Riders as trying to get around that corner on the outside was Bryson Daughtry.
Gideon Ajay did a good job, too. I mean, again, yes, he misses the tackle. However, whenever you're missing the tackle, as long as you're missing it to the inside, forcing guys on the inside where your defense can come, give you a hand. You see on the replay, you just, boom, their runner gets inside. But look at that. Number 43 is coming down to fill that gap. Nick Wiebe.
Yep.
Nick Wiebe, who we've been excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting an opportunity to play after being on a pitch count for much of training camp following his knee injury last year. As a high kick by Castillo, going to be fielded back inside the 10 of the Riders. Taken there, dancing, trying to find some room. None to be had, though, as trying to skip his way was Daniel Wiebe, another Saskatchewan Husky. He'll get up near the 12, 13-yard line. Not much running room there for the returner for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And
You know, I'll tell you what, remember we talked about the importance of special teams in the preseason, especially for the guys who were on the bubble. I think the return teams on both sides have played well today, right? So I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that special teams room watching this film, right? When you're sitting there and you're like, man, I like this guy. He's not a starter. He's American too, but look what he's doing on right? Like, oh, man, the conversations are incredible.
A 6-yard return on the Ibarasa and Sons punt return by Daniel Wiebe. It's 1st and 10 Riders at their own 15. Hand off to Trent Penix on the far side. He'll get across the 15-yard line up near the 17 for a gain of close to 4.
This was really well blocked initially. It was just one Bombers defender that kind of blew up this whole play because we had the space. Again, we always got to remind ourselves, right? The Bombers are in training camp.
Yeah,
too,
that's
you know?
right. Absolutely.
We get so excited to see which Rider guys are making plays and out there, and you're just like, oh, yeah, I forgot about these other guys.
5:28 and counting to go in the fourth quarter. Winnipeg in front of Saskatchewan by a couple of scores. It's 27-12. Jack Cohen in at quarterback for the Roughriders. It is 2nd down and 6. Back to pass. Feels the pressure. Throws it. It's in and out of the arms of Missouri as he came across, was open, but just couldn't squeeze it, and it almost landed in Mitch Picton's arms.
You've got to catch
incomplete.
this. This is a first down throw. I'm telling you, man, I'm putting it right on there. There's no way that Jack Cohn cannot be your third-string quarterback on this route. This kid is coming out. He's playing with confidence. He's throwing the ball. He's got the velocity. He knows where he's going to go with it. He's making good decisions. He needs some help. Missouri needs to catch that.
8 of 14 for 87 yards on the night for Jack Cohn thus far. The incompletion, though, forces Joe Couch to come out to kick this one away. He stands at his 2-yard line on this. 5 minutes and counting to go here in the fourth quarter. Bombers have one back to return. Couch. Kick is a high wobbler, but it's taken by the Bombers inside their 49-yard line, dancing towards the outside and eventually into the sideline, and the bench is the returner, and not much there, but the Bombers will go back to work. It is going to be a first down with 4:46 to go here in the fourth quarter.
And here's the other thing, right? Like, there are guys that are like, oh man, I know I'm next up. I've been in this situation, right? Where when I was very young in my career, first, second year, I remember saying, okay, hey, Luke, you got the last part, you got the rest of the fourth quarter. And then I remember being in a situation, watching our offense put together a drive. And you're like, no, we need you to fumble it or something so I can get on the field.
Cheering against the team.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to get your opportunity to put some film together.
Handoff through the middle for the Bombers on first down. Going to be good for a gain of maybe 2, potentially 3. Quentin Cooley on the carry once again for the Bombers.
This starts with Eric Black understanding where his gap is moving to and then seeing a blocker coming around. So he's getting a puller. He knows he has to get underneath the puller because what that's going to do is it's going to bubble the running back. And when it bubbles the running back, that's where the rest of the defense understand. That's how it's supposed to design to go. Now your linebackers are flowing over the top making a tackle.
2nd down and 6 after a run of 4 for Quentin Cooley on first down. 3 receivers, 2 in motion far side for Wilson on 2nd down. He'll swing it underneath, and that's going to be caught. It looked like it skipped on the carpet. Oh, and indeed it did.
Yeah.
The official on the near side rules incomplete as it was intended for Bryson Daughtry.
I think if we had more cameras going in the regular season, what you would have saw is the catch. But as he caught it, the ball he then secured it because the ball was between the grass and his gloves, which forced the ball up into his gloves, right? So you can't have 3 hands as a wide receiver.
No. True.
It'd be nice.
So Evan James will come on to punt now for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 3:47 and counting to go here in the fourth quarter. A 2-and-out for the Saskatchewan Roughrider defense and a high spiraling kick that Daniel Wiebe is going to take down at his 10, up to the 15. Speed burst near the 19, but he runs into a couple of Winnipeg Blue Bombers in their white jerseys. They'll haul him down. It'll be a gain of about 9 on that Ibarasa and Sons punt return. Ibarasa and Sons cut grass like a pro with tower mowers from Ibarasa.
Now, 3-minute drill situation, right? You're always repping these situations. More importantly, it's a nice opportunity for Mark Mueller as well. Like, hey, I have my 3-minute offense. I want to pare it down. I don't want to show too much. But, hey, I got this system of plays right here that I want to see if Jack Cohn can execute with.
Well, Cohn has Trent Penix in the backfield beside him. First down. Shotgun snap is good. Cohn slings near side. That's complete near the Rider bench at the 32-yard line. Knocked out of bounds was Jana Jr.
Yeah,
and it'll be a first down for Bazandowski Agencies.
This is a great catch by Jana Jr., right? I mean, you got to get your feet in bounds, right? You can see him gearing down. He knows where the sideline is, so it's great awareness. Jack Cohn puts it on him. You got a strong catch, but more importantly, you're moving the sticks. Clock's moving, but again, that's a ton of time in the CFL.
3:08 to go now. Cohn in the gun. Going to sneak in a play before the 3-minute warning, it would appear. Calls the receivers to the line, gets it off. Cohn looks to pass over the middle. That ball complete again. Down to the 42-yard line as Nasiri has it. A gain of about 8 with 2:54 remaining.
Nasiri coming across the field. You know, that's one of the more successful pieces of this offense we saw last year out of Mueller. He did a good job of freeing up guys coming across the field. Cohn, very patient here. He sees the crosser. He's just waiting until that crosser creates some space between himself and the defender to put the ball on him.
3-minute warning being given, brought to you by Brett Young. More bushels per acre we can get behind the game. Go to redcross.ca for your help today as the Riders try to help themselves on second down and short. They need 2, and Trent Penix tries to twist his way towards the 45-yard line, which should be good for the first down.
Yeah, I think he did get it figured out. You know, I've noticed that Penix is another guy, and I'm not sure. I mean, when I was in the Canadian Football League, we were always taught it seems the running backs are holding the ball just a little bit differently than we got to ask Trent Penix or one of these guys.
So first down for the Riders. Cohn back to pass. Has time. Looks to the far side. Little timing route and a nice job of coming back to it. And they're going to rule that a catch on the far side. Joe Robicelli.
Robicelli is battling for this football. So I think that right now on film, if we're Rider Nation, if you and I, we've been following the journey, I think that it's good. I would predict that Robicelli's done enough. You never know, right, how this depth chart, but Robicelli, maybe not done enough. Robicelli is making it exceptionally hard on the coaching staff when it comes to him.
First down for the Riders. Cohn feels the pressure, and it comes from the Bombers through the middle. They'll wrap up Cohn for a sack of about 7 yards.
Yeah.
And that's a tough one to take with 2.5 to go.
You're just seeing a stunt in the middle, right? So you got one defensive tackle going to his left who's starting from the right. You got the other crossing underneath them. And what happened here is the defensive tackle that looped first essentially ricocheted back up and was the one who caused the pressure.
Cohn in the gun, second and long, back to pass, throws it, and that's knocked down as he gets hammered. You're right, in the backfield, and it'll be incomplete third down.
Well, it was a great spin move from the right defensive tackle, and Robicelli just gets hit just as he's releasing the ball.
So they'll bring up a 3rd and 16 now as Dawson Hodge will get an opportunity to punt. He's kicked and punted. And again, the last Rough Rider to do that was your guy, Luka Kanji, in a game.
Luka. I'll tell you what, man, we could tell some stories.
Hey.
Broadcast after hours. Boy.
Good snap. Nice kick there by Hodge. Boy, does he hammer it and down inside the numbers on this near side of the 15. And then great downfield coverage by the Riders to boot. Nice job as Ajay gets down there quickly. The draft pick out of the University of Calgary wraps up the returner for Winnipeg. Really no measurable return. Nice job by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And here comes the Bombers offense with 2:12 to go. 36-yard punt, 5 yards on the return.
Again, your return teams, right? And that's when you look at the decisions this coaching staff has to make, a big part of this goes into the special teams production, and there hasn't been any drop-off. Guys have been in the right position. Guys have wrapped guys up, right? So the cover units on both sides have looked great.
Wilson still in the game for the Bombers at quarterback. It's 1st and 10 from the Winnipeg 20-yard line. Wilson. Little handoff underneath, going the far side, going to get to the 20, dancing around, still on his feet. Is the ball carrier. Is Wallace has got it. going to be tackled on the play by Straker, and it's a gain of about 4, second down coming up.
I'll tell you what, we saw some phenomenal blocking from Cooley.
Yeah,
He's carried the ball well, but Cooley absolutely obliterates as the lead blocker 2 guys in green and white.
Robert Javier was one of them.
This is the identity of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's the reason why they've been in so many Grey Cups as of late. They are a physical football team. That's where their foundation is, right? You're seeing them in their game preservation offense right now. This offense right here that they're running is designed to run out the clock. It's designed to take out the physical will of their opponent by pounding and pounding. And that's why you have Brady Oliveira, who's been such a massive success. Not only is he a fantastic running back, he is tough as nails, right? And his offensive line, they are founded in being tough. And when you get to these situations where they're closing you down and you're behind, you go and it's tough to be on that field, just being grinded out.
Wow, Quentin Cooley, tough run there as he gets near the line of scrimmage, but no more, as the Riders do a nice job of getting up and stopping up that running lane very quickly. And now the Bombers are going to kick with 1:59 to go in the fourth quarter. Winnipeg leading 27-12.
Cooley just gets off the tackle. Cooley just gets off the tackle of number 74, Liam Hoskins, who I think has appeared a couple times.
Yeah, we talked about him.
I think that he's done a great job too, right? But just a strong back, manages to get off the tackle of Hoskins, gets what he can, but still we're keeping him in a punt situation.
High spiraling kick to Daniel Weeb, goes back to return for Ibaras and Sons. Bobbles it initially. Now he's going to take off to the near side, tries to get to the corner, and then turns it back up to the 41-yard line is Daniel Weeb. A little excitement on that return as he was able to find a seam when there seemingly was none, and he gets back to the middle of the field, and here comes Jack Cohn in the offense.
Well, one of the things I loved about that play, it wasn't spectacular, but what you did see was the ability to accelerate, right? That's what makes all great returners. Right, when you're in traffic, right, you've got guys hanging over, and all of a sudden you get a little bit of space. And we saw that acceleration that is incredibly valuable to returners. So that's a good sign for young Daniel Weeb.
First and 10, Saskatchewan ball on their 41-yard line. 1:41 to go. Here in the fourth quarter, Winnipeg in front 27-12. 3 receivers to this near side of the formation for Jack Cohn. Trent Penix, the lone back in the backfield. Some pre-motion or pre-movement before the snap. No whistle down. Completion to the far side of the field. His bodies are flying. His guys refusing to go down and fighting for yards on a little wide receiver screen on that far side. And
that was a quick out that should have been called offside, but hey, refs didn't blow the whistle. Keep on going. Abdul Janae.
Yeah. So 7 yards on the reception. 2nd and 3. Ball moves up to the 48-yard line with 1:32 to go in the ball game. Football's on the left-hand far hash. 5 receiver look for Cohn. Low snap. He picks it up, though, and now he'll fire over the middle. Mitch Picton has it up to the 50-yard line, and that'll be good for another Bazandowski Agency's first down. Bazandowski Insurance and Financial Services, your first choice for insurance. It's Cooperators Bazandowski Insurance and Financial Services.
One of the biggest qualities for a receiver is toughness, right? You got to be able to take a licking and keep on ticking. Robustelli was banged up, comes back in, still playing hard.
Cohn back to pass, first down, ball complete inside the Winnipeg 40 to the 39-yard line. Nice job by Picton to make the catch and then get down with 1:14 and counting to go on the clock.
I'm going to stop talking about Cohn. I'm just going to let everybody else just keep watching, because I've been trying to tell everybody. Nobody wanted to listen to me.
Make them make a decision,
totally.
Right?
You got to make it hard on the coaching staff, right? I think Robustelli's done that, and Cohn's out here doing it now.
First down, going to throw it far side. That is complete up near the 29-yard line. Is bringing it in was Robustelli on the far side.
It's the confidence. Look, he knows he's in the 1-minute drill. Look, getting his guys together. Hey, here's what we're running. Right? Making sure everybody knows where they're going. Talking to the running back, making sure he knows where his blocking assignment is or where he's going if he's in the pass.
2nd and 3 after the 7-yard gain. Cohn looking, throws it far side. That's complete. coming out of the backfield to make the catch. That looked like it might have been Mario Anderson that made the play, and indeed it was good to see him back into the game after being shaken up earlier.
And here's again, so the Bombers do a great job. Nobody really opened downfield, right?
Yep.
But again, you saw that communication pre-snap with Cone and Anderson. As soon as Anderson realizes there's no Bombers that he needs to block, he gets out into the flat and gets the football.
1st and 10 Riders, ball on the 26 of Winnipeg. 47 seconds and counting. Cone is in the gun. 3 receivers far side. Back to pass. Pressure coming. He throws it to Anderson, who's got a lane. 15, 10, down to the 5-yard line before finally being tackled up with 36 seconds left on the clock.
It's a good job. You've got the underneath route, or sorry, not the underneath, the out route from depth from Anderson. You've got 2 Riders receivers running deeper routes, trying to occupy the eyes of the defensive back. Good throw, good catch, 1st down and goal.
Inside the Ashdown Furniture and Interiors red zone. Handoff. Anderson, goal line, touchdown. Riders score.
Good job.
Finally they do it. Getting into the end zone is the offense for the first time in 2025, and it's Mario Anderson with a 4-yard scamper.
Jack Cone engineers a perfect 1-minute drill. Mario Anderson finishes the drive off. He had 2 critical catches in that drive, so he was a big part of it before it got down to the 5-yard line. Then he does the rest by breaking a couple tackles, getting into the end zone, and he could have probably ran for another 15 yards the way he was running with the football. That is a great job, especially for a young man who had a fumble earlier that led to a touchdown, right? We talked about it. This is preseason. You can't make mistakes like that, and it was a great job. He's resilient, comes back, keeps the things that he can control as the priority, and now he finds the end zone. Great
Riders
job.
going for 2 with Jack Cone on the right-hand hash. Extra bodies inside. He'll pull it back down near side to the goal line and in. Daniel Weeb spins the ball and gets into the end zone for 2.
Yeah, and Daniel Weeb had to get through some traffic there. It wasn't like he had a walk in the park to get that 2-point conversion. There was about 4 guys, 2 green and white jerseys, 2 blue and gold jerseys, and he ran through all 4 of them.
Touchdown drive brought to you by Nelson GM and Assiniboine Avonlea.
The other thing is, too, right, I know that I was incredibly complimentary of Jack Cone in the last 2 drives here, and he engineered that, but again, that was a complete offensive effort, right? The offensive line blocked things up right. When needed, you had a running back that understood where he needed to be on the field, gave a couple nice outlet routes to his quarterback because nothing else was open downfield, right? The offensive line giving Jack Cone time, that was really a complete offensive drive led by Jack Cone, getting guys in and out of the huddle, getting guys in the right spot, helping guys understand where they need to go. Obviously, the Bombers weren't blitzing as much. They're a team that lets you kind of chip your way down the field and then tries to take the goal line away from you in the regular season. Didn't see a ton of blitzes, but again, you got to control what you can control, and that was a great drive by that offensive unit.
7-play, 69-yard drive, 6 throws, 1 run for the Saskatchewan Roughriders offense. As we now get set for a kickoff from Dawson Hodge, and the Riders look like they've lined up something maybe for an onside kick. Now,
Nope.
Hodge approaches, nails it down to the 15 of Winnipeg with 25 seconds left on the clock. Dancing is the returner to the 30. 35 going to step out of bounds at the 37-yard line, and no more. Nice return there for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, David Wallace. And here comes the Bombers offense with 21 seconds remaining. Winnipeg leads Saskatchewan 27-20.
I would assume this is going to be victory formation here. You got 21 seconds. Can't see the timeout allotment. No, the Riders don't have a timeout, right? So
no, they lost their timeout.
Yeah, you really can't put up a fight here. If the Bombers come up here, they take a couple knees, game's over.
And that looks exactly what the Bombers are going to do with Terry Wilson at the quarterback. Steps in under center. Victory formation for the Bombers here at Mosaic Stadium from their own 37. Wilson takes a knee with exactly 20 seconds left to go. I think that Tim Croker, the referee, was hoping that the 1 second would drift off the clock so that
So you could just-
you could go ahead and put one more knee down.
Croker's like, get me out of here. Hey, listen, not the result the Riders want in the win, in the win and loss column, obviously, and I think that the last time I heard us losing in the preseason last week, right, I think that Mace did a good job of holding the team accountable to the desired result. But I think guys got some good film work here. Some guys didn't, some guys did.
So the final score, 27-20. We're going to go downstairs momentarily before we head to break, but the Saskatchewan Roughriders will wrap up the preseason 0-2, dropping 2 consecutive to the Blue Bombers, but it will be a much different looking roster